Hi, my name's Stephen Drake, and I'm going to do another video today. Today is 3/26/2020. It's the first day of the year for the Hebrew calendar, 1/1/5780. And getting a lot of information this morning. This is all stuff that I've been getting today. It's a little bit crazy sometimes, but it was an amazing study. I studied the name Solomon this morning. But today, in our studies, it is day 1181 in the 3-year, 3-month, 3-day pattern, 333 pattern. And today is Revelation chapter 14. So I figured we could walk through the chapter together and go through kind of each step as he kind of displays what's happening while this seventh angel is sounding. And so we're going to start out with verse 1. First off, before we do that, I do want to say a word of prayer. So let's say a word of prayer first. Barak Bashem Yahweh Al-Haim, our Father, who dwells in the heavens, holy is your name. Your kingdom come and your will be done on the earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread and forgive us of our trespasses and sins and debts as we have forgiven those who trespass, sinned, and been indebted against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from all sickness, evil, harm, poverty, mediocrity, bondage, and death. For yours is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Bahashem Adonai Yahweh Amen V'Amen, and Onamati Yesau Christou Amen Kai Amen. In the name Jesus Christ, salvation anointed, Amen and Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. So today we read, if you watch any of my videos, you know we do like 4 chapters a day. And so today, my last chapter is Revelation chapter 14. I'm going through the ending of the entirety of the book. When you get to this point, this is your 4th year if you read it in this pattern, and you're now reading 4 chapters a day. And so once you get to this point, you're at 1181. And I'll show you, I'll be reading the other chapters. I don't know if I'll record them this time or not, but it's easy to follow along if you look at the other videos that I have, just adding 1 year to each basically section. So you start with Genesis chapter 1, and then you go to 366, which is Chronicles 28, I believe, and then you start that one as you start Genesis 1 again. Anyway, there's more information about that in other videos, but today we read Revelation chapter 14. This is after he saw the beast from the sea, the beast from the earth. This is after the whole, all these basically, the 7th angel sounded, basically, and then all of these things began to happen. And this is our time. And so you can kind of, some of it has happened already, some of it hasn't happened already, but you'll kind of see as we move along into deeper studies of these chapters over a while of time. Chapter 14, verse 1 is chapter 252 of the New Testament, chapter 1181 of the Word of God, and it starts with verse 230 of the book of Revelation. It says, "And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the mountain of Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads." So the first ones that he sees in 14:1 is a lamb and 144,000. That's the first thing he sees when he gets to chapter 14. There's some specifics, obviously, having his father's name written in their foreheads. "And I heard a voice from heaven," so now you have 14:2, a voice from heaven. This is heard. This is saw. Or I should say looked probably, but saw. As the voice of many waters, which has to do with people. As the voice of great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. So people playing some stringed style instruments, some sort of vibrations. They sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders, the 24 elders. And no man could learn that song without, this says but inside of the Greek, in fact, I'll show that to you. I'm going to do a little screen sharing today. So let's go 14:3. It says, they're singing a song new, which is Odain Canaan. Song new, in view of the throne and in view of the four living animals and of the seniors, and not yet one was able to learn the song, if not, or if no, the 144,000. It doesn't say except, it doesn't say they had to be these. It says if there wasn't the 144,000, like the 144,000 are teaching you the song. These are the ones that have been bought from the earth. So it says, which were redeemed from the earth. 144. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are, this word says virgins, but it could be a pure maiden. It could be a pure relationship as well. I believe that has to do with a male and a female. I think there's I think there's 288,000 people. But I think there's 144,000 entities that are undefiled. These are which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goes. These were redeemed from among men, the first fruits unto God and to the Lamb. In their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of God. So now we got 4:6. Now he's saying, I saw another angel. So 14, saw another angel fly in the middle of heaven, having the everlasting gospel, or the gospel of eternity, to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and family and language and people. So this angel he saw with the eternal gospel for all. Okay? Saying with a loud voice, fear God and give glory to him. For the hour, now he uses this phrase, hour. 14. This is verse 7. Now, for me, first off, 7 and 14 are multiples. The 7 times 2 is 14, of course. But when you get to the 7th verse of every single chapter in the Bible, it's referencing the 1,000-year day that you're in some way or form. And to different people in different ways at different times in different parts of the world. You know, God is big. So anyways, he kind of writes this thing, even in different languages, it means different things to different people. He knows every step of every verse and how it works. So when I get to the 7th verse, I always think of, okay, I'm in the 7th day. I've been in the 7th day. This is the 20th year inside of this day. For me, for my mathematical understanding, and pretty simple, it was the beginning of the new millennium. The whole world kind of follows it. So we're in this process from Adam. We're in the 7th day where God rested. He doesn't have to write anymore in his book because his book is complete. And so it's our job to figure out what happens through this 1,000-year reign. And Jesus gives us a good explanation throughout here. It's difficult because it's all allegory. And so it's not like this. Some of it is, literal, but most of it's allegorical. So he's saying with a loud voice, fear God and give glory to him, for the hour. So now he talks about an hour. And to me, I believe we are inside the hour. The hour is like 41 years long, 41 and a half or so. If 1,000 years equals 1 day, an hour, 1 hour equals like 41. I have the math done, but it's like 41 plus years. I do know that a half hour equals exactly 20 years, 10 months, and 31 days, which is this year on Halloween, or All Hallows Eve. All Hallows Eve, which used to be a Christian holiday, by the way, leading you into 111, which was the next day. But anyways, and this lands this year very particularly on the blue moon, the night of a blue moon. I believe this is the end of silence that we see in Revelation chapter 8, verse 1. And so this is why we're very close to some interesting things happening, as you can see what's going on in our world. For the hour of his judgment has come. I believe we're inside that hour. And worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of water. So he says with a loud voice, fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment has come. And worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of water. He's kind of like referencing two different beings in this one passage as well. There's understanding of a God being able to do something for the one who creates everything. Jesus was like that. And there followed another angel. This is 4:8. So 1, 4, 8. And for me, this is kind of interesting because I'm 48. I just turned 48 on December 31st, 2019. And so for me, he uses a particular word, because this is now another angel. So you have it start out with another angel again. And he references, it says Babylon. This is where I live. I live in literally Babylon, the town of Babylon, New York. Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. So let's see, I gotta go back. I'll show you this one thing and then I'll take it off screen share. So it says, another angel, an angelos, follows, saying, it falls, Babylon, the city the great, that out of the wine of the fury of prostitution, or porn, basically, porneia, which has to do with pornography in our world. Babylon has allowed that type of pornography to flow into the entirety of the world, as you can see in our world today. and made all nations to drink of that pornography. Let's put this back on. You can see everything here. So that's another angel. Now we get to 4:9. 1, 4, 9, 9, 14, 9. And it says, and the third angel. So now we have third angel inside of the book. So far we have a lamb, a voice from heaven, another angel, which is basically a reference of this lamb as well, because it's another angel, but a different style or something probably just a touch different than obviously that. And then another angel, talking about Babylon, then a third angel. And it says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worships the beast and his image and receives his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same will drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he will be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Who said that? A third angel said that. An angel said that. It tells you right here. The third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice. This doesn't mean this is true. This just means this is what he's saying. If any man worships the beast and his image and receives a mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same will drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he will be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, and the smoke of their torment ascends up forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night, no who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receives the mark of his name. So this is what that angel says. Rightly divide. Here is the patience of the saints, and here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. There's a lot in that. I can't go into all of this, but now we get to 4:13, 14:13. So now you have another entity. I heard a voice from heaven. So now a voice from heaven, like up in here, 14:2. Could be the same voice, but heard a voice from heaven, saying unto me, write, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yes, says the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. 14:14. Now we've done all this. We've got the Lamb. We've got the angel, the hour, the angel, the third angel, the voice. Now we're at 14:14. This is a double number, obviously. And it says, and I looked, and behold, a white cloud. So he sees a white cloud. And in our world, what is the cloud? And white is Luke, basically, or leuka, which means white or light cloud. And upon the cloud sat like unto the Son of Man, sits the Son of Man. Ezekiel will tell you. That's our next chapter. Ezekiel chapter 14 is the one that's before this in the study. Now, he's a white cloud, sits the Son of Man on the white cloud. Then it says, he has his head with a golden crown. So his head has a golden crown, and the word crown is the word Stephen. And then in his hand, he has, when it says on his head a golden crown, and is in his hand a sharp sickle. Let's see how you spell this sickle. We don't use that very much. S-I-C-K-L-E. This is a farming, a gathering tool. A gathering tool. Reaping the harvest. You gather the harvest. So 14:15. So now we got white clouds on a man. Now we have 14:15. I'm running out of space here. Let's put 14:15 over here. I do this a lot when I do my studies. I'm kind of all over the board, but as long as you can see it. So, and another angel came out of the temple. So now you have another angel. So if that's third, plus you have the lamb, technically it's kind of fourth, then you have the Son of Man, which would be the fourth or the fifth, and then you have another angel, which would be the fifth or the sixth. Depends on how you process the lamb in this word, another angel, because you only see the three angels, then the Son of Man, and then another angel. This is all during the sounding of the seventh angel. Another angel comes out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud. So this one's calling out to the Son of Man that sits on the cloud. Thrust in your sickle and reap, for the time has come for you to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. So this one tells the Son of Man, tells the one before him, to reap, to use his sickle. And he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle into the earth, and the earth was reaped. Now, 14:16. The Son of Man reaps. Okay, now I'm going to show you some time frames after this, but let's just keep going with this until we're done with the chapter. So now we have 14:17, and it says, and another angel, again, another angel. So in angel movement, you have angel 1, angel 2, angel 3, which they reference, Son of Man 4, but this is angel 4 being 5, 4, 5, angel 4, but being 5. Then you have Son of Man reaps, no one else is introduced yet. This angel is the 5th, but it's being 6. If you're starting from here, we still have the lamb involved too, so then you're getting into a 7 as well, but that gets you have to begin to understand a lot of time frames in order to grasp this type of thinking in your mind, and I'll explain that some. So 14:17, came out of the temple which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle. So now this one is from the temple in heaven with the sharp sickle. 14:18 is another angel, which would be sixth angel, or the seventh being after the Lamb, came out from the altar. Now this one's not from the temple. This is from the temple here. This is from altar, which had power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, Thrust in your sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. So now here's another harvest, right? One from heaven, one from the Son of Man from earth. 19, and the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into a great winepress of the wrath of God. 20, 14 and 20. And the winepress was trodden outside of the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horses' bridles, by the space of 1,600 furlong. So, now, the whole point I'm trying to show here today is a pattern of time. When the seventh angel sounds, a whole bunch of things happen. And there's a revelation, there's a revealing, because the seventh angel pours his vial into the air, and so thus you have the communication style we have today. We're in the seventh millennium from Adam. We're in the, basically seventh day from Adam. If you understand 1,000 years equals one day, and in that day God rests from all of his movement, and Jesus says that there's 1,000 years of peace during this resting point. I think it happened before, back in the times of Adam. That's how it was kind of designed, and we had exceptional power back then to do certain things, and this creator or formator, or someone who created form on this earth, Yahweh Elohim, built basically what we live in right now. And this right here, this book, believe it or not, I've come to believe and understand that this book is a binary coded program to the at least seventh binary, which is very difficult to grasp. But basically, without this book, I believe you don't exist. And I know this sounds crazy, but without it, you're not even here. And a lot of people are beginning to come to, scientists and everything, come to some sort of realizations that our minds have control over how things move. And that's why the media wants to push fear into your minds, because fear can kill you. Fear is almost the only thing that can kill you. So, hold on. Another robocall. Gotta love this this stuff. Anyways, so you get into 14, and there's a lamb. So you have this lamb is on Mountain Zion. This is David's mountain, and he has 144,000 followers that are redeemed. He's bought them. They're his. You can't do anything about it. Okay? And then you hear a voice from heaven. You see another angel. This is angel 1 that has an eternal gospel for all. So now you can, let's go back to the time of Adam. Let's say that there's an angel in the time of Adam that has an eternal gospel that is to give to the world. Okay? He's inside this hour because he's born or created or designed or let go inside of the very beginning of a millennium time frame, 7,000 or basically 6,000 years ago, because we're in the seventh day now. But the same thing was happening, I believe, with Adam as it is happening in our world, even with technology and with everything. We don't understand that in the beginning, the first chapter says he created them, and then when you get to Yahweh's formation in a garden, It's specific. And anyways, he creates a form of spiritual man that doesn't die unless he sins from this earth based upon a ruling that Yahweh gave him. But I'll show you that when I do. I'll show you more of that when I do a study on the two beginnings. And so this angel has an eternal gospel for all inside of the hour. Then you have another angel. Okay, now you're into the second time frame, and he says Babylon has fallen, has fallen. So in the second time frame, you're in the second millennium, you're in the likes of Noah. Noah basically wipes out this whole earth and begins again. Then you get into the third time frame, the third angel, and let's see, 14:9. He says, if any man worships the beast in his image and receives a mark in his forehead or in his hand, he goes through the process, drink of the wine of the wrath of God, the smoke of their torment. He's like a preacher, okay, which would be in the time frame of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This is that moving time frame. So it's what Moses' foundation is built off of. And as you can see, there's a lot of punishment inside of Moses' foundation that this angel speaks in the similar fashion. So then you get to 14:13, a voice from heaven you hear. Then you get to 14:14, and you get to the Son of Man. So Son of Man would be the fourth time. This is the time of David and Solomon and Saul. Saul, David, and Solomon. And it says, Son of Man, there's a reference in the Son of Man that says that for 3 days and 3 nights will the Son of Man be in the grave. Well, Jesus wasn't in the grave for 3 days and 3 nights. He was in the grave for 2 days, 2 nights, and on the third day, he rose again. So there's a reference going back another 1,000 years because we're in the third day from Jesus Christ. We don't want to wait another 1,000 years for him to rise again. And so when you understand these days into thousands of years, it's unbelievable how this Bible is speaking. It's such a long time frame, but yet most people, as they read it, think that everything has to happen in their lifetime. And that I've come to understand is not the case. So now you got this, David and Solomon begin to reap the earth. There's a golden crown, so now you have the kingdom, right? And a sharp sickle, a gathering tool, that leads you into the fifth angel, okay? And it's his time to reap. This right here, to me, would be the understanding of Jesus, who is the Lamb, number one anyway, but also comes in here to reap. That's what Jesus did. His ministry was like, listen, you're going to die for me right now, basically. Saul's going to come around and kill most of you at this point. At least, so I think there's 1.3 or something, 1.1 million or something like that is the common calculation for that time frame. And with a lot less people on the earth. And that's just in that one little area. And of course, many survived and moved forward, but there was a lot of martyrs that was like, that was our deal back then. And so that was his ministry. Follow me, die for me. He told the ladies, don't cry for me, cry for your children. Cry for your sons and your daughters that are, that have to go through what they have to go through in order to get to where we are today. And so, anyways, to me, this is a representation of Jesus reaping. Then he tells the Son of Man, right, to reap. So now you have Jesus as a reference of the Son of Man in that time frame, right? Because another angel comes after, tells the one before, because I think Solomon and David have a massive connection to the understanding of who Jesus is. And then you get to this next angel, which is the sixth being, which was basically when all of us were born in that millennium. he comes from the temple, 14:17, and he says, he has a sharp sickle, right? And then you get to this angel, this seventh being, from the altar. And so to me, that's where we are right now. He tells the ones from the ones before him to reap. This other angel. An angel inside of the Greek means messenger. A pastor would be considered a messenger as well. So there are more powerful angels, of course, but also there are angels in the form of men in this earth, probably many, many that don't even know that they are. And I know that sounds crazy, but bear with me for a little longer. And I'm going to have to go because that is my daughter. But the seventh angel from the altar says to reap, and that's where we go. I'll have to call it back. I'm going to have to edit that out. So, the seventh angel came down from the altar, which had power over fire, and cried with a loud voice to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, thrust in your sharp sickle, gather the clusters of the vine. Now we have, right, Jesus is the vine, and we are his branches, the cluster of the vine. Okay, that gets you back into this. It says, her grapes are fully ripe. This is our time frame. And the angel thrust in his sickle. So now the angel, the seventh angel, thrust in his sickle, gathered the vine of the earth, casted it into the great winepress of the wrath of God. I think that has to do with this right here. The winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horses' bridles, by the space of 1,600 furlongs. And we'll do some more with the dimensions from there. But basically, that's a quick cap of, going through of the chapter 14 of the book of Revelation with all the different beings that are involved. So, God bless, and critique this, please, for me. Love everyone. Have a great day.